Welcome to Invest. We're talking about investing, finance, and professional development. As the current time of 11:20 a.m. on the Eastern Time on September 15th on Thursday, with respect to today, Ethereum 2.0 merge is being debuted. And apologies firstly on my late post. I had consecutive meeting this morning. Also had a reporter interview earlier today with a journalist on talking about what I'm doing, and knowing the fact that September is typically like the conference season in New York City. I've been on panel speech and doing just conference fireside chat and stuff like that. I'm actually giving a speech tonight at my undergrad school for winning an award. I'm just like prepping myself for it, for the energy, because I think it's gonna be, they block out like 5 to 10 minutes, and I have to make a speech for 5 to 10 minutes. It's like an eternity if you talk about like facing, I don't even know how many people. I think 250 people in the ballroom. So we'll see. So with respect to the overall market, obviously, today on the equity side is a little bit more suppressed, and on the crypto side is being microly driven, which obviously the buy the rumor, sell the news affectation is being on full display right now, which Ethereum is reaching down to the next level of support, which is technically 1450. So you can see that we still have some room to go down to. You can see we open at 1650. Basically, at the cusp of breaking through, because you could see that we have some consolidation up at the 1750, but we broke it. As you break it, you form a death cross, and which is, I believe, we are crossing right now. So that's a good exercise that we have to do organically for the market. So before I do the more comprehensive technical, let's take a look at some of the other optics that we should be aware of. So let me shift this over. So it seems like CNBC talks about, let me just shift my screen, okay. Ethereum falls 8%, well, it's technically 10% after the smart contracts network completes long anticipated merge. And if you look at this is like pretty anticipated based on a lot of the traders. Even like according to Coinmetrics, they have talked about this, that following the late transition happened on Wednesday night, basically last night. And then as you could see that we were trading around like the, per our discussions on the technical front, 1650, you break support, you're going to go down to 1450. This is something that we talked about yesterday. And then, despite, it's being microly driven, but the overall macro market, which, from our recent, CPI report, the PPI report, which was aligned, I guess, but with the negative foreshadow on the upcoming FOMC meeting next, I believe, Wednesday, but the durations of the meetings from 20th to 21st, the like of us raising the rates again to 75 basis point or even higher, it's very likely, right? So with that being said, it's still being suppressed. Okay, so beside that, you could take a look at some of the buying and selling activities that we've been seeing in the last 24 hours so far. ARK Invest sold a ton of stocks in comparison to the day before. They bought some, but this is more of like a rebalance exercise. But looking at the whale, the whales of the whale, would be BlackRock. You could see that they sold like billions of dollars of stocks again, which is crazy, right? You talk about like really making a dent. If you collectively put this together, it's like this is like basically 2%, and you add this all up. This is basically like, yeah, like pretty much like 2% times five, over 10% of trillions of dollars. So that's, you talk about multi-billion dollars of stock just being sold yesterday. Um, you know, and also on the politician side, you could see that they've been quite active, like kind of mixed, I would say. Some are, a little bit more heavy sold. Like you could see that there's a sizable amount of liquidation happened with Square, by Suzanne DeBear. Steve Cohen has also, I don't think this is the Steve Cohen from Point 72, but he's like I believe he's just a representative with the same name. He also purchased some gold and Airbnb for some reason. So it's quite mixed bag, but you could see that the tech sell-off that we saw yesterday is quite sizable, especially coming from a politician side. So, I mean, ultimately, despite all the macro and micro factors that we know so far, we are still in a bear trend. We are in need of forming a death cross. So we are crossing. So that's a good thing. And we are going to be landing soon, right? So you can see that we are going to be heading to, unfortunately, 35 out of 70 as the next level of support. And by then, you should technically see some sort of a bounce, right? And you can see that right now, we're not completely fully there in terms of the bottom. So we have to kind of come down a little bit further to 1450. So ideally, as we get closer and closer to next week, we're going to see more, negativity or volatility ahead, right? So the merge, it happens. So you're going to have this buy the rumor, sell the news, combined with the suppression of these negative CPI report and the negative macro market is going to just drive it down further. And then on the weekly, let's see how much. So weekly shows that we're still very bearish. Need to cross down eventually and cross up. So you are still at the 41 out of 70. So coming down to somewhere around like 35 is going to be very, it's going to be necessary before we actually pump up to the monthly side of the chart, which is quite bullish. And then on Bitcoin, you can see that monthly is quite bullish still, right? But it's going to be months away from now. Weekly needs to cross down eventually, but it's not going to be sizable one. So we are obviously broken below $20,000. So the level we have to go down to next would be somewhere around like 18,500, 17,500, like all the flat numbers. But the true level is going to be 15,500. Right, if you break 15,500, it's going to be all the way down to 10,000. If you break 10,000, the next level is 3,000. Which, wow, if that was the case, I really doubt it because of the fact that we pretty depleted and optimal on a daily and weekly. But you could see that on the daily is very extended. This is basically the upward wedge being broken. So coming back down to a level of support, which we're not fully there yet. So something to think about. And then, so that's pretty much on the overall market. I would say I'm not surprised, but I feel like my analysis have been pretty on point so far. Again, but I'm not a wizard. I don't predict the future. But technical doesn't lie to us, and this is what's supposed to be happening, and it's happening in front of us. So followed our Patreon updates for the insights that we give out on a day-to-day basis, and hopefully you guys have been following us through this journey and this collective observation so far, and I appreciate you guys for sharing your insights on a day-to-day basis with me as well. And this is a collaboration, right? If we collectively can conquer the market, we can conquer the market. Right? So appreciate you. Have a good day, and apologies again for posting a little bit later. But I'll watch out on the next one, and wish me luck on the speech tonight. All right, and take care.